What's up, everybody? Welcome to Versus Episode 7. Today, I brought on someone who has always been in line to be on the show, a lover of bad movies, a lover of movie trivia, the former champion of Why We Love Horror Trivia, big business, Jeremy D. Potters. Sir, how are you doing today?
I am doing great, John. Thanks for having me on. And yes, a lover of bad movies. Not to say I love every bad movie I see. So, yeah.
Right. And today, last week I stayed in the Jagged Edge family with an Uncorked Entertainment movie. But this week, since I knew I was having a special guest on, I went right back into the Jagged Edge, the core Jagged Edge movies. I went back 2 years ago and I pulled out one of the movies that has every single common pitfall. Without spoiling what we're talking about, Jeremy, how'd you feel about it?
I was excited when you told me the movie, a Spider in the Attic, or just Spider in the Attic, I believe.
Yeah,
the title, and I was like, "Ooh, I love a good creepy spider movie, whether it's good or bad." I like spiders, the old ones where they were just a tarantula superimposed, crawling across town, any of that stuff. And then I watched the trailer. So I don't know if you play the trailer.
I'm gonna play the trailer. Yeah, we had them. We had Eight-Legged Freaks. We had Arachnophobia, and they crawled so Spider in the Attic could run.
Day 383. The experiment is a success. By the correction of the gene GH1, the organism has remained stable.
I need something shocking, something outside the box.
It was in the next town. There were these rumours and stories about this scientist who was taking his experiments to the extreme. And if you interview him, it'll be controversial.
We have just arrived at Mr. Zeiserman's home. Come on, as a reporter, I've got to start taking risks.
Ignoring morality, they pushed experiments to the extreme.
Something is in the room with me. I think one of them got out and...
I think I found him!
Did you hear that? Got out.
God bless them. God bless them. They try. I think just right off the bat, not much of the movie takes place in the attic. And I don't really think these spiders were in the attic to begin with, especially since that big spider at the end wouldn't fit in the attic.
Well, and most of them are like in a different building, you find out. Like it's not that the house that they enter is the main problem. That's just where the guy lived that was doing the research. Apparently, next door, there's a building. We'll get it. So yeah, it starts off with just the obvious exhibition that they didn't waste any money on hair and makeup, because the very first scene, the lady's hair. I mean, yeah, bless them. They're working actresses. Good for you. But my God, their hair looked like they just touched one of those electric balls and then let go and then went and shot their scene.
Yeah, it's like, guys, I was just at Lane Bryant. I got a snappy new outfit. Let's shoot. Hair, wardrobe, who gives a shit? Let's go. Here we go.
Yeah, it's muggy. Fucking.
Yeah. Yeah, the movie kind of starts, and I'll say this, Jagged Edge has a theme. Usually the beginnings of the movies are standalone, way better than the movies, even though the beginning of this movie has really wacky, shitty CGI. And for a movie about spiders, they're definitely pretty liberal about what spiders look like.
Well, and I think they get it. They do it. They actually, I feel, address that concept later,
They're alien DNA spiders.
Yes, yeah, alien Nazi research dug up by some guy that lived alone in Kent. Apparently, Kent is where you can find old Nazi research, which is weird.
Yeah, apparently in Kent there are old Nazis and day spas. That's what we learned. So Kent, it's really like it's an 84-minute tourism video for Kent.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Like the beginning of the movie, I'm like, this isn't awful, and even the score, like the music through the first 20 minutes of the movie, I was like, this is not terrible. Like this is not obviously a piece of shit, but I know it's coming, and that was the thing. Like and as you got closer to the shittiness, the music gets worse. Like, and I don't know if that's a Jagged Edge thing also, like where it starts off like dramatic music and then they
front load all the good stuff.
Definitely. And then it's just horrible spikes of noise and things and somebody looking concerned, and then the music spikes, but then there's nothing happened. Like there's never a jump scare even or anything. It's just like there's
general dread.
They just build atmosphere, but the atmosphere might be methane. It might be just carbon dioxide. Like it's just an atmosphere. It's not really for the film, and that's fine.
The premise of the movie is it's not horrible. It's just unwieldy, I guess. Like we have an older woman. She's at retirement age. She is a radio personality. However, the radio station she works for has apparently allowed her to do like a true crime podcast as actual radio, which does not happen in real life. And they're kind of finally being like, you know what? This sucks. You need to do something else because we're losing money. So that's how we start off.
And then she goes home and she talks to her one daughter who's very pregnant, and that's kind of important later in the film, but only kind of. And then another daughter comes home, apparently from the military or the forces, as they say, wearing fatigues that I could fit in, and she's probably 98 pounds.
Yes.
It's jarring how big the costume is that she's wearing. I don't know if you noticed.
She apparently is one of the she's one of the army people that trains attack dogs. That's how big the outfit is.
It is, yeah. It's that. But yeah, they get the idea to. She heard some stuff in the military, so she tells her mom, "Hey, if we just go check this out, this might be the story you're looking for. You can get your show back on, get your figures up," as they say in the movie, because your figures are bad. Not her figure, her figures. And
yeah, and I'm gonna say I don't know if you are. I'm not an expert on United Kingdom, British, English law, but the way they go about exploring this rumor, it's like, first of all, okay, so there's this dude, he lives in Kent. He maybe is doing Nazi experiments at his. Sure. We don't know what it is.
Yep.
Literally everyone they talk to, anyone that's even like remotely involved in it, is just going to come along for the ride. Mm-hmm. So the lady, both the pregnant daughter and the army daughter,
very pregnant daughter.
Yeah, and her boss, and just some random like marketing lady who was in the meeting.
Yeah. I don't know if she's marketing or legal or she's the censor. I don't know. She's something.
Yeah. And then because the one daughter is pregnant, they bring along the baby daddy because he's good at tech, but he never touches anything electronic for like the short time he's in the movie.
Yeah. And he's like the fourth one in the door in the house.
Yeah.
Like when they get to the house and they're thinking, oh, this is kind of weird. Nobody's home. Oops, I just unlocked the door. It's okay. We'll just tell him I had to pee. That's how you get away with breaking and entering in the UK. Just go, it was open already and I had to pee.
So they're trying to break the story of like the millennium by uncovering Nazi research at this house in Kent. Meanwhile, this dude like literally gets killed. The scientist in the house gets killed in the opening scene of the movie. We are supposed to assume he has no contact with the outside world. I guess doesn't go to buy groceries, doesn't pay bills, because his body is laying there in a extended state of decay. But the people that finally discover it are these people that went there on a whim. And yeah, they do break into the house, which kind of invalidates the investigative journalism, I would imagine. And yeah, the excuse is we'll just tell them you're pregnant, baby's pushing your bladder. We looked for a bathroom. The door was open, and we walked into this house that is covered.
Yep.
In like it's the sporting goods store. No, it's the card store next to the supermarket in the mist level of spider webs.
Yes.
In this house, which is not a red flag.
No, it's obviously somebody's living there. There's nothing to be concerned with. It's an entire Party City's worth of fake cobwebs. I will give them credit. Like, they spared no expense on their fake.
They spent at least $6 on cobwebs.
A solid £8, I would imagine. Yes.
Yeah.
But then like, they're looking around the house and they find the guy right in the bed. The lady who goes from looking like a drab professional to like she just left a funeral. She's black gloves. She's got some kind of weird black flower thing in her hair. Like, it's, again, the wardrobe in this movie weirded me out more than anything else, I think. But then you find out that the baby daddy's kind of an asshole. He's a douchebag. You know, They fight, and they have to have a fight because he has to go outside.
I'm a father. I'm not. We didn't have children out of wedlock, like the family in this movie. Tisk tisk tisk. But like, I would think if I had a problem with my girlfriend, whatever, being pregnant, I would not wait until deep into the third trimester to pick a fight about whether or not we're keeping this baby. You're a little late to the party, brother.
Right, to go on a day trip to save her mom's job because you're good at tech. Like, he had to have been like, sure, that sounds like I'll help. And then the look on his face when they first walk in is like, I don't want to fucking be here. Like, you just know he's pointless. Good old Dan. You gotta love.
He is jacked though. He's jacked.
He is, yes. And he got all of their diversity in one guy.
Yeah,
because everybody else is a white female, and then he's like the Tiger Woods of acting. Who knows? Yes. They're like, hey, buddy, we got you. Thanks for being a part of the project. You make us look better.
Aside from the Nazi sympathizer in the beginning of the movie, he's the only male actor in the movie. Yes. But yeah, just backtracking a second. Yeah, they do find this guy's dead body, which is covered in spider webs and eaten.
Yeah.
And like
that he's going to be a meal for the few weeks.
Yeah, so, they don't run screaming from the house. They're just like, oh, you know what? We should post up. There's definitely more exploring to be done here. I don't know about you. And I'm not British. So I don't know. Maybe British people are just made of different stuff. That's when I call the police, animal control, and maybe the National Guard to see what's going on at this house.
Well, they tried to call the police. And, of course, in Jagged Edge fashion, there was a freak storm at the time you're making the phone call. And instead of just trying a landline or a neighbor, because I'm pretty sure there's a shot that shows like another driveway. Like,
they're in a suburban neighborhood.
Yeah. Like, there's a guy right there. There's a guy named Wallace just hanging out. Just go ask him to use the phone. I'm sure he's got one. But yeah, in true terrible movie fashion, they're like, the freak storm. And they show one flash of lightning.
Outside the house.
Yes. Outside the house, yes. I did catch that,
yeah. And I think it's kind of like that really convenient horror movie, like reverse Deus Ex Machina, that whenever somebody tries to make the decision, hey guys, this is stupid, I'm gonna bail. That's when the spiders, and it's not just spider in the attic, it's spiders wherever the fuck we want to put them, is what the movie should have been called. Because whenever somebody tries to go somewhere, spiders just appear. They don't attack anybody when they're just like in the dining room having a 10-minute exposition conversation. Yeah. But whenever somebody like walks down and starts to leave the house, spiders appear.
Yeah. And whenever somebody looks somewhere, like there's only one time where anybody's alone, right? And that's when the guy, he leaves after the argument, and he sees this random building next door that has a radioactive like sticker on the door, or whatever, viral outbreak or something, like posting. And he's like, I should probably check this out. And when he goes in, that's where he finds like nests and eggs. And then you see a big spider. And then I guess they shoot web from their mouths.
It's like they spit acid, I guess.
It's
they spit acid in their face.
That's what my wife said. I was like, sure, yeah, it was a spit acid.
It's debilitating acid because they get a few folks this way in the movie. He gets the acid spit in his face, and then he's disoriented. He falls down, and he's dead. They cocoon him up just like The Mist. I'm going to say The Mist as many times as possible to upset Aaron Brooks. It's just like The Mist.
Well, I mean, both have bad endings, so yes. I mean, there's that too.
We're going to get there.
We'll get there. Yeah.
Yeah. So he gets killed, whatever. Nobody knows about it, as usual, whatever. The middle manager lady, who I have no idea why she tagged along, she's had enough. She's like, you know what? I'm going to leave. She goes out to her car. For some reason, it's like a Volkswagen, I guess. So everything's reversed. The trunk's in the front. She opens the trunk of the car, and there's a spider in the trunk. And the spider's the size of like a small cat. So I don't know how the spider got in the trunk of the car if the trunk had been closed. I don't understand the physics there. Jeremy, do you understand the physics there?
Well, and it didn't like come from somewhere. Like when she opens it, it's there and it's up and it's ready. It's not like, oh, it crawls out as she opens it. No, it's like at full attention, ready to strike.
She got punked.
And then they both kind of stare at each other for about 30 seconds, like if nothing happens. And then she goes, and she gets sprayed in the eyes, like Jurassic Park style. Like they turn them all into Nedry. That's what happens. And then she's doing this.
She suddenly looks burnt and falls over.
Yeah, and then she kind of like just smears her own makeup up to look like she's hurt. Yeah. And then again, another solid 30 seconds. She's trying to see, and she sees an outline. The whole time, everybody else is right off to the side,
watching it happen, and
staring, just staring.
I'm not saying I'm the most ethical person in the world. I probably am not. And like in this situation, seeing the Dungeons and Dragons layout of spider here, dying lady here, me here, I could just run to the right and make it. Like 10 times out of 10, I could make it. And we're, again, suburban neighborhood.
Well, and they're at their car.
Yeah,
their car is across like the little drive, and they're standing next to the car they came in. So they
go back into the house.
Yeah, nothing. Just more to be done.
Yeah, and again, like people now you've seen someone die. But this Pulitzer Prize ain't gonna win itself. You got to go back in that house and see what's going on. So now both daughters still alive, the other lady still alive, the main character still alive. So 4 ladies in the house now. No one is losing their minds, which is really weird. I think I would probably lose my mind at this point because, like we said, these spiders, they're not really spiders. They're like spider, scorpion, something hybrids. Like they're dangerous looking creatures.
I was called we were spider, scorpion, lobsters.
Yes, they are every arachnid
with a touch of wasp. Just a touch.
I would agree.
Which, honestly, I don't have a problem with the design of the monster. I think they look pretty cool, especially if you just said Nazi experiments and then spider, lobster, scorpion, wasp, and then you showed me a picture of that, I'd be like, that fits exactly what you're talking about. It's not
the CGI. The CGI is garbage. Let's not lull people into a false sense of security. They did not try.
No.
When they put these things into the movie, they do look like exactly as Jeremy's describing. Them laying on reality looks like shit.
Yes. Yeah. Like the one shot in the trailer where it's the close up was what the guy sees at the beginning when he dies. That's the best shot of any of them in the movie. And then the big one that you see at the end of the trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, the people here, it's not like a lot of horror movies, people make bad decisions. These people, it's like they made a decision at the beginning and they're just not going to change their mind. Like they're out to get that story, and no matter what. And then when they find the audio tapes, as they call them, and then I started doing some math because there's a scene where the lady, that's my problem. The main character is talking into something. Is that a phone? It doesn't look like a phone.
It looks like it's like one of those. It's like the thing that Kevin McAllister has in Home Alone.
It's exactly what my wife said. I said it looked like the thing from Ghostbusters if they just tore the antennas off.
Yes,
they just tore those off, and she's just yelling at it.
It's a talk boy. It's a talk boy from Home Alone.
Talkman.
Yeah. So she's doing full on. Yeah, she's doing journalism. That's how people do journalism in Jagged Edge movies. She's doing hard journalism.
Yep.
And they find the audio tapes of where he was like I believe they're like it's like the summer-ish time for them, but the audio tapes go all the way back to the fall beforehand.
It's February 21st when she's recording her when they get to the house.
But his I think his audio tapes start in October.
Something like that.
Yeah. So we don't know how long he's been dead, but he's alive in October. They're there in February.
Well, he's alive in January. There's one he says it's January 9th.
Okay.
And then in that scene, that character goes, well, it's been another week. How big do you think they are now? And I'm thinking, she said February like 3 minutes ago, and January was a week ago. I go, this must be that Jagged Edge math.
Let's go back to the list. Things Jagged Edge doesn't understand. Calendars also they don't understand. Because in the beginning of the movie, when he's just like doing his bullshit, it's just one spider in a hermetically sealed glass case. Mm-hmm. But you don't see it get out of the case, but it gets out of the case and kills him. Right? When they get to the house, however many weeks later, there's a lot of spiders of various sizes. There's that spider. There's spiders that are slightly bigger, spiders that are slightly smaller, baby spiders parading around, whatever. So now everybody kind of splits up at this point. The other marketing lady who's in every Jagged Edge movie goes up to the attic. Mm-hmm. The pregnant girl goes out to the building where all the spiders are. And the mom and the army daughter are kind of just together floating around. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, the pregnant daughter, her water breaks. Why wouldn't it?
Of course.
Yeah. To add extra drama. And again, let's go back to the list of things Jagged Edge doesn't understand. Labor, child labor. I don't think they understand that either because her water breaks and it's like, I took an eyedropper and went bleep, bleep, bleep. That's it. That's the water breaking. Yeah. And then she's just kind of in labor. She's just kind of in active labor at that point. And she's in the sauna. I think they refer to the building as the sauna. And the spider's in there and she's in there. And it's a small building. And she literally walks 2 feet and hides behind a half wall of tile. Mm-hmm. And she's safe. Like the spiders never find her, even though she's in active labor, sitting on the floor. And there's a bunch of spiders because all the egg sacs are in there too. Yep. And the egg sacs break and the spiders are coming out.
Yep.
They never make it to her though.
Yeah. They just, I don't think they have much drive.
Yeah. Those spiders
they're not really working hard.
Right.
They just reproduce and then keep being spiders. But then,
So I don't think it's ever explicitly stated, but basically at some point they decide, well, we have the evidence on these tapes. I think it's time to just cut our losses and get the hell out of here and walk the 10 feet to the car, right? So they come up with this plan. I guess the one girl is going to burn the house down and they're going to get out of there with the tapes. Then they go up to the attic where the one girl is and a spider jumps on her. And rather than try to save her, the army daughter has the jerry can of gasoline and she just throws gasoline on this woman who's still alive.
She's reaching for her. She's like, so the other people who died that you see die, it attacks their face. It's eating their face. Well, it looks like it's on her upper chest or her throat. She's aware and trying to reach, and she's nah, man. Gasoline, sorry.
Gasoline, light a match, run. Wow. I do think, and they don't state this, but we do know that your mother's boss is dead. This lady is also middle management. If you kill her though, now you have secured your mother's job security because there are openings at her company now.
And she said she didn't know what she was doing with her life. Well, maybe some nepotism is in line.
Yeah. She could take her mom's job. Look at that.
Yeah.
So then we get that's basically it. All the characters that are going to die. The woman that's in active labor is easily picked up and carried out to the car. So mom and her 2 daughters who have no real survival skills except for the army lady survive everything. They get to the car. All of a sudden, the car is covered in snow too, for some weird reason. I don't know if you noticed that. There's snow on the car. Even though
I noticed that.
Never snowing.
Those freakish snow, lightning, thunderstorms that they have in the UK. Yes.
Yeah, the weather in these Jagged Edge movies, off the wall. Cars covered in snow, never snowed. House is on fire, technically. It's not really on fire because they couldn't afford those effects.
We just
have to assume it's on fire.
Right.
So the house is on fire. And then in total Jagged Edge fashion, as they're getting in the car, a spider the size of the house appears from behind the house. And it's like, oh, this is the spider they were talking about. Where the fuck was this spider the entire movie?
I think it just grows so fast. I have a theory that might help this movie.
Okay, go ahead.
When Dan walks into the sauna / virus growing egg sac building, whatever, the side house, right before he died, like the one that kills him, he looks up and there's a big one on the ceiling. Like it's big. So I assume that one killed him and ate a little bit. And because it grows so fast that eating a man that sized, how much muscle he had, it just grew 20 times the size that it was in the 3 hours maybe that they were in the house.
Okay, fair enough, but I'm going to counter your theory with saying it had to have gotten out of the sauna building, and they had just gotten that girl out of the sauna building.
Yeah,
now the spider is easily 20 times the size of that sauna building, and that building has not been leveled.
Yeah, the scientist, though, talks about the goldfish concept, right? You put a fish and it grows to the size that it was. I think it fell out of a window accidentally after eating the guy, and then because it was outside in just nature, it just went... It is big.
Hey, so Jagged Edge, listen, here's your guy right here. You need script supervision. Jeremy Potters is available freelance. He's got you, and he'll work for rate, right? He'll do it for just cost. Whatever the rate is, he'll do it. And he would have 2 lines of dialogue. He would fix this movie for you.
I will
look up Jeremy Potters. He's on all social media. You'll find
pseudonym required, please.
Yeah. and then the movie just this giant spider reveals.
And you're
shit. Movie ends. That's it. Movie ends.
Yeah.
I imagine we're getting a sequel because it's Jagged Edge, Spider in the Attic 2 coming soon. Spider in the Attic of the Earth will be the sequel. So yeah, the fun thing we do though, the champ Luis Boost has asked me each episode to if we haven't dissuaded you from watching this movie, if you decided, hey, me and my friends, we're gonna, I don't care what John and Jeremy have to say, I'm gonna watch this movie anyway. Why not drink while you watch it? Jeremy, go ahead. If you had to devise a drinking game around Spider in the Attic, what would it be?
Oh man, that's tough. I think you'd have to take a drink every time a character says a different version of another character's name. Because we have Lucy, which is the daughter. I only caught 2 names in this whole movie, Lucy and Dan. Lucy is the daughter that comes home from the military. And I believe the sister refers to her as Lucy, and then she screams her name at some point. And then Dan is Dan, Danny, Daniel, and then Dan, or something like that. They all get referred to separately if their name is mentioned. It's multiple versions of the same name over again. And I just think it's weird. And it happens pretty early, so you get pretty hammered before you got to the rest of the flick.
My drinking game is a little bit different, and it'd be different for every different person. What I would say is get your shots lined up. And then every time you think it's rational to flee the house in terror, take a shot. Every time they don't, when you would, take a shot. You will die within 45 minutes.
Yeah, and I'll present an antithesis, a sobriety game for this. If you need to be with your friends while they're playing John's drinking game, try this. You drink anytime a spider and a person are in the same shot. You will have 3 drinks. You'll be fine after a couple hours. By the end of the movie, you'll be absolutely fine, because it only happens 3 times.
That's exactly true. Well, and that's where we end the episode. So, Jeremy, if people want more of your special comedic stylings, where can they find you in this great community?
Man, I'm here, there, and everywhere. I'm multiplex a lot, getting ready for the next season. Not so much right now. It's kind of the off season for trivia and stuff. But if you want me on, if I'm available, sure, we'll talk shit and watch bad movies, good movies. I don't care. And yeah, that's my Letterboxd. Don't expect much.
Yeah. Hey, that's my Letterboxd. But you're here on this channel. If you made it this far in the video, give me a like, subscribe, comment, share. Go to the Facebook group, Why We Love Horror. Drop me a line, wwlhorror@gmail.com. This is airing on Monday. This Thursday, it's I believe, one of the final episodes of the season for Why We Love Horror. It's probably the week we're doing our year-end recap. Myself, Aaron, and Abby will talk about the movies we like the most in 2023. And on Friday, it's the Why We Love Horror Trivia Championship match. Jeremy the Adam Adams going up against the champ, Luis Boos. If you made this far in the video, we appreciate you. And this has been John Versus.